are Mac Woods and Les Poole. And on deck, I have Lisa Michaels and John Ludlow.
Mac Woods, Clackamas County. Good morning, Commissioners, and the voters out there in Clackamas County. I take my hat off to you for becoming aware of what's going on right here. We will see who stands tall after election. There has to be change about. That is the very reason last week I talked about voter integrity. There's a problem. There's corruption. I grew up on a farm. My daddy says, you gotta get rid of a critter, you gotta smoke them out. It's kind of hard to smoke out a skunk because you first got to get across past the smell. There's a lot of stinky spells going on. Get out to vote, but this coming Monday, Mr. James Buchal, out of his own pocket, filed the case with the Multnomah County, where TriMed comes from. The voters are going to do something about it. This man, out of his own pocket, is an attorney, a well-qualified attorney that maybe Lisa Michaels will share more about him, hopefully in a few minutes. However, we got to smoke out the skunks, get rid of the fraud, the corruption. Mr. Buchal is also running for state attorney general. Out of his own pocket, he's taken on the state, and it's going to be heard circuit court Monday morning, and hopefully some of you, particularly Steve, should go hear it. He to clean up the fraud, the corruption, and go by the law. None of you are above the law. It's time to enforce the law, stick to it, and you commissioners should absolutely honor the public, the voters, the taxpayers that's paying you, because you can be fired. And that's likely to happen very shortly, and see who's left to make rules. It is not freedom as we see it. I'm a member of American Legion, VFW, the Elks, and several other organizations. They meet me on the street. I don't even know. They're so glad somebody's speaking up to head off the fraud and the corruption. Thank you. And county voters, I take my hat off to you for speaking up and voting, just like you got to vote on the light rail.
Isn't he running for Secretary of State?
I'm sorry?
Oh, Attorney General.
He's running for Attorney General. We talked him into running. You know he's going to stand up for the people. Mr. James Buchal. Thank you, and I take my hat off to him.
The next two up are Lisa Michaels and John Ludlow.
Yes, I'm Lisa Michaels. I'm a resident of Beaverton, Oregon, and I am the plaintiff in a lawsuit that was mentioned earlier by MAC, being filed by the candidate, the GOP nominee for Attorney General of the state of Oregon, a brilliant man with an undergraduate degree from Harvard, and while he was on the Harvard debate team, law degree and MBA earned simultaneously from one of the best schools in the country, Yale Law School, and Yale for business school. He and I have I put together the evidence that I discovered in 2010 when I was doing a tour of Multnomah County elections, and found to my dismay that they were retaining, as is the policy here in Clackamas County and across the state, they are taking instructions from Stephen Trout, who's the director of elections in Oregon. They're taking administrative rules, instructions from them to violate law of Oregon. 254483, and I will read it. Procedures after 8 p.m. on election day. Unused ballots immediately, only says it once, but immediately after 8 p.m. on the day of an election, the county clerk shall destroy all unused absentee and regular ballots in the county clerk's possession. Point 2, each county shall provide for the security of and shall account for unused ballots. This is 254483. Look it up. There's lawlessness in this state. There's corruption, in my opinion, and this has got to stop. So on Monday, I'm going to have a hearing, and I'm going to present the evidence showing that the shredding company who was hired the day after we asked for the recount, 6 precincts for Congressional District 3 on behalf of Delia Lopez, they arrived to shred the ballots. These are unused ballots. This is after the certification. They were told to leave because of the recount. Why in the world would you need unused ballots? 32,000 of them. sitting there on the floor waiting to be destroyed. We're told to leave. The shredding company truck was leave because of the recount. Then I got the logs. They go to the elections office, in and out of the room where they store these ballots that we wanted to just take out and recount. So much open for fraud. No security, no chain of custody. Do we want to have fair elections, or do we want convenience? We've got to go back to voting in person. This is just, I would ask you to please instruct your county elections to follow the law, 2483, not the illegal instructions by Stephen Trout and Kate Brown. Thank you.